So moving on, and hopefully this is not in the way of reading the slides. Do you see my thing at the top here? I can get it out of the way. It's causing a trouble. Yeah, I'll move it over here. There we go. Can you see the full slide now?
Yes.
Yeah, Gwen, our view of the slide deck doesn't change when you change things around. It's
okay. I thought it was,
yeah. It's all on the users end to fix their formats. So
now I can see the slide. Fabulous. Okay, so what is Athena? You know, as was said earlier in the call, we came up with the idea for Athena based on work that was done years ago. At Ernst & Young, we were doing work on women in tech and how to get more women in the tech sector. And I was at a conference speaking and running a panel session, and the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, State Department people, all sorts of people were there, policy people, the kind of people I didn't usually interact with. But they had asked us to go back to Ernst & Young and do a study on the impacts of blockchain, artificial intelligence, and robotics on the lives of women and girls. And that was just so much fun. And it really just, you know, was kind of jaw-dropping in a way, the results of the study anyway, because all of these technologies can be used have so much promise to be used for so many good purposes. But there's also things that we were finding that were very bad. And it was also very interesting to have people in the State Department and policy institutes all over the world participate with folks from the tech sector as well as the innovation team at Ernst & Young, because in some instances there were lots of clashes, tons of disagreement, you know, with tech folks like myself often feeling like, you know, we should just be gung-ho about this, it's technology, what could go wrong? And policy people saying, well, things are already going wrong. So it was really fun. That then became kind of a labor of love. And we since then have done a lot of work with the United Nations, the AI for Good, and other groups. And that is how Athena's AI ethics framework and methodology was built. We do advanced analytics and machine learning implementations and build and strategy. But we also are working with the IEEE on their wellness initiative, and have built our own assessment methodology, looking at business aspects, the technology aspects, and the governance or oversight aspects of a firm, and what needs to change or be matured depending on the kinds of AI you're working with. You know, some companies are just doing big data analytics in retail. Other companies are actually building robots and drones that have AI and other types of learning systems. And those have different needs in terms of AI ethics, and the discussion is a little different. So that's the history of Athena, and this is really just a summary of our AI ethics offering and what we do. Moving to the next chart. Oops, okay. Prior to today's survey, so I know a few of you just wrapped up the survey, so your data is not in this slide yet. But prior to coming to the session today, we just threw a few of the questions that were really directly related to some of the things we're going to talk about today, but all of it will be summarized in the final report. But your awareness, most people feel you're pretty conversant in this topic or very knowledgeable. So that was pretty good feedback. At the end of the session, we are going to ask you one more survey question just to see if you're feeling on this topic changed after we went through the material. If you felt like you got a lot more out of this, your knowledge was increased, and just to get a pulse for the content and how you felt coming into this call versus leaving. The next chart, really great research report. You can actually just Google it, Ethical Leadership in Business by Salesforce. It's probably about 12 or 15 pages, and we share a couple of their statistics because it's very consumer focused. And it really has shown how consumer concerns are changing over time. About 59% now saying that, emerging technologies are harming society, and that 70% of consumers believe there should be some sort of ethics advisory board, which is great for us because we help clients set up consulting and ethics governance, and whether the ethics offices should be internal or outsourced or some hybrid. But this is just to kind of set the tone that, and it's nothing anybody on the call doesn't know, but really kind of lending to, what are we going to do to, or how can we as developers begin to address some of these concerns in the way that we work so that there are less stories hitting the news that are negative.